Hey, welcome everyone. I'm Ted Erhart. It's Tuesday, back following Memorial Weekend, and power was out at my place, so I'm sporting my Grizzly Adams beard today. We were out of power for about 6 hours. But nonetheless, hey, just wanted to do a quick blast today, sharing something that caught my attention. It's just kind of interesting following the markets. That's lumber prices. And at least in the futures markets, it appears that the lumber bubble has been popped again. So let's take a look at it. There's a great article in the Wall Street Journal today. So here's the article and the link if you want to check it out for yourself. But what's interesting is the author is tying Federal Reserve policy, that is rising interest rates, to falling prices in the lumber market specifically. Take a look at the chart. This is just mind-blowing. You can see where prices were trending prior to the pandemic. They were kind of range-bound, $300 to $600 per 1,000 board feet. That's how lumber is priced in the futures markets. And then as everybody anticipated a collapse in demand for lumber products, so everybody tightened up, what we ended up getting was the reverse of that. Demand took off, and at the worst possible time, just as supplies were constrained, and the result was you had prices quadruple before peaking in 2021. And there was clearly a lot of speculation occurring in the market, and we saw the bubble pop. But at the same time, things bottomed out and we saw prices run up again. But it appears we've seen the bubble been pricked one more time, and I think at this point it's much more likely that we're going to see sustained lower prices. We're not going to be up at those peaks. And the one reason specifically, there's a good reference in this article. They survey purchasing managers, so people who purchase lumber products for a living, and a year ago over 60% of those purchasing managers said that lumber products were in short supply. They were difficult to obtain. And today that has changed dramatically. It's down to 12%. So in other words, the supply-demand balance has come much more into balance, if you will. And that, of course, bodes well or better for price stability. So the one thing I want to emphasize, these are futures markets. So don't expect to run out to Menards or Home Depot and see lumber prices down 50%. But if we see if futures prices kind of level out, likewise, like they were pre-pandemic, that's when we're ultimately going to see lower lumber prices be expressed in the retail stores. And the last thing I'll mention, this is interesting because I find talking about monetary policy, that is what the Federal Reserve does. That's something I'm interested in. This article specifically ties in rising interest rates to lower demand for housing and so forth. And my point is, it's a good example of how what the Federal Reserve, literally affects people in their everyday lives. You started putting downward pressure on demand for lumber products, and that ultimately translates through into lower prices. So what the Fed does matters to you. So that was just a quick blast for you this week. I was trying to keep it light following the big Memorial Weekend. It's always a busy week trying to get back into the swing of things. But as always, just want to say thanks for watching. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed it. Let me know if you'd like to hear about other topics, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.